Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and there's a problem that is not being talked enough about right now that's still happening in the state of California, and that's people being denied ammunition still because of the messed up background check system in California. So when people in California want to go buy ammunition, they have to do a background check for each one of those purchases. And if there is a problem with the APHIS system, then they're being denied ammunition. Being denied ammunition is the same as being denied firearms because the ammunition is an integral part to a working firearm. Therefore, if you do not have ammunition, you do not have a functioning firearm. It's a way that California is basically getting around the Second Amendment and stopping people from practicing their rights. So let's talk about it. This channel is proud to be supported by the Firearms Policy Coalition. Make sure you check that link in the description box, become a member, and donate when you can, because these are the people that are going to be fighting back against stuff like this, the stuff that we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, out of all the ridiculous anti-Second Amendment schemes that have been brought forth by California, the background checks for ammunition has got to be one of the worst because it was rolled out with absolutely no planning whatsoever. There was no preparation to make sure that this went without a hitch. Now, we all know that it's unconstitutional just on its face and it never should have been implemented, but it was. And so people are being forced to undergo background checks and pay fees and go through hoops just in order to get the ammunition that needs to feed their firearms. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm still getting emails to this day from people who are being denied their right to purchase and own ammunition because they went through a background check and something was flagged and it wasn't a disqualifier. For instance, if you're a felon, you weren't allowed to own firearms anyway. That would be an instant disqualifier on the background check for ammunition, right? But these people are being denied their ammunition because of stupid reasons. One, the address doesn't match. Maybe you moved recently. If you are somebody who has something that's in the system, so you already registered something in the system, so that's there and they can verify that, and you currently live at that address and everything seems to be fine. But then one day you decide, hey, I want to move up in the world. So you decide to move to a better house, a bigger house, a smaller house, whatever it is. Now you have a different address on your license than the address that's in California's background check system. Now you go to buy ammunition, you show them your ID, they try and fill everything out. Guess what? Your ID, your driver's license doesn't match up with the previously registered firearm that's already in their system, and so you get denied ammunition. You get denied because of an administrative failure, essentially. Again, not a disqualifier, because it's already been said that ammunition is protected under the Second Amendment. So people are being denied their Second Amendment rights based off of a simple clerical error where the address that's on their license doesn't match up with the address that's already in their system. Even though you can show a California driver's license that was issued by the government showing that this is your current legal address. That's what California is doing to people. Now, here's another problem with this background check system, and I decided to call Turner's just to see what they would say. Turner's Outdoors is a California-based retailer, and there you can buy pretty much everything, right? So I decided to call Turner's from here in Nevada, and I said, hey, I'm going to be visiting from Nevada. I was wondering what I would have to do in order to purchase ammunition at your store. They said, you have to have a valid California ID. I said, well, I'm obviously from another state. I don't have a valid California ID. I have a Nevada ID. She said, then we can't sell you anything. So that means that once I head into California, my Second Amendment rights are gone. I said, okay, well, do you know how much I could bring in myself? She says she's not sure. She doesn't think you're allowed to bring any in, but you might be able to bring up to 50 rounds. So you can see that even people that work there are confused by what's going on there. So apparently they would not do business with me. I wouldn't be able to buy anything. I wouldn't even be able to go through the background check as somebody who doesn't live there. Therefore, I don't have access to my Second Amendment rights if I go into California. Now, another email that I'm getting, and again, this all drives me nuts because it's so blatantly unconstitutional. I just can't believe it. But there are people who do not own a firearm. They're going to the store to get ammunition because maybe they're going on a hunting trip. Maybe they're going on a trip with friends and family, or they just want to go out for the day and they don't want to be a mooch. So they decide to get their own ammunition to bring along with them to use in the stuff that they're going to be borrowing from their friends or family, right? So they go through their background check, but they're not in the system because they haven't purchased anything. They don't have anything registered in the state yet. They haven't gone through the system in order to register themselves. So they have to do a more extensive background check, which takes more time and costs more money. And then for some unknown reason, they're still being denied. it's coming back and they're not able to do the transaction, and they're being denied their Second Amendment rights. One thing that you have to remember is, if ammunition is protected under the Second Amendment, then you have a right to own that, even if you don't own anything that it goes in. You have a right to just own it. It's an integral part of the Second Amendment on its own. But you're having people who don't own anything, therefore nothing is registered in their name in the state of California, being completely denied. Now, don't even get me started on false positives. False positives are still happening all the time. You also have shops that are turning people away because the law is so confusing that they don't understand what's acceptable and what's not. I've gotten emails from people before who say that they don't drive, so they don't have a driver's license. They just simply have a passport, they have a social security card, and they have, other identifying stuff like maybe a utility bill for the address that they live in for verification. They have all that stuff. They go to the shop and they're still turned around because they don't have a driver's license. So there are still multiple things that are happening with the ammunition background checks in California that are just keeping people from practicing a fundamental right as in our Constitution. And while I know that there are lawsuits about this, there's lawsuits that are going against this right now. I know the FPC is big on this one right now, as they are stretched pretty thin across the country with everything that's happening. But we need to make sure that we don't forget about it and we keep pressure on the government and on people who are going to fight back against these things to actually do something about it. Because like I said before, out of all of the schemes that California has come up with in order to infringe on people's Second Amendment rights, this one right here is one of the most tricky. Obviously, you have the roster, you have the AW ban, you have all these other things that, infringe on everybody's rights. But this right here just denies them a way to use what they already own, or just use it at all. Because again, ammunition is an integral part to a firearm, therefore it's protected under the Second Amendment. So just trying to, again, keep that out there, that this is what's going on in California, and this is the type of thing that could spread nationwide if we don't do something about it. So thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.